The morning begins not with a bang, but with the familiar weight of a to-do list that has been rewritten every day for 3 weeks. The coffee is hot, the desk is organized, and the intentions are pure. There is a deep, sincere desire for change, a better career, a healthier body, a more meaningful connection to the world. Yet, as the sun moves across the floorboards, the familiar paralysis sets in. It feels like being a car stuck in the mud. The engine is roaring, the wheels are spinning at 100 miles per hour, and the smell of burning rubber fills the air. But if you look out the window, you are exactly where you were yesterday. The trap of productive procrastination. The first reason life feels stuck is the most deceptive. The pursuit of preparation. Hours are spent researching the perfect workout plan, watching how-to videos on entrepreneurship, or buying the most expensive planners. This creates a dopamine hit that mimics progress. It feels like movement, but it is actually a sophisticated defense mechanism. By constantly getting ready, the ego is protected from the possibility of failing at the actual task. If you never start, you can't be bad at it. If you stay in the learning phase, you remain a person with potential rather than a person with results. We get stuck because we mistake the map for the journey. The comfort of the known pain. There is a strange, quiet comfort in being stuck. It is a miserable comfort, but it is predictable. When you stay in a job you dislike or a routine that drains you, you at least know exactly how it's going to hurt. You've mapped out the bruises. To change, to truly move, means stepping into a space where the pain is unknown. The brain is an ancient machine designed for survival, not necessarily happiness. To your lizard brain, safe and miserable is a much better biological bet than risky and thriving. We stay stuck because, on a subconscious level, the fear of the unknown is louder than the frustration of the present. The weight of someday. We often live as if we are waiting for a permission slip that will never arrive. I'll start when I have more money. I'll change when the season is less busy. I'll be happy once I reach that specific milestone. This creates a psychological gap where the real life is always just over the next hill. By placing our agency in the future, we abandon the only place where change can actually happen, the messy, imperfect now. We feel stuck because we are waiting for the perfect conditions to align, forgetting that the wind never stops blowing. The friction of internal conflict. Imagine a person trying to walk forward while their own hands are tied to a post behind them. Often, we feel stuck because we have a divided will. One part of you wants the promotion, but another part of you is terrified of the increased responsibility and the loss of free time. One part of you wants a deep relationship, but another part is still protecting a heart that was broken years ago. When your goals and your hidden fears are pulling in opposite directions with equal force, you remain stationary. It isn't a lack of effort. It's a conflict of interest. Shifting gears. Breaking free isn't about revving the engine harder. It's about lowering the friction. Stop planning. Start failing. Movement happens when you trade the perfect plan for a clunky start. Acknowledge the fear. Admitting that the stuckness is actually a shield makes it lose its power. The 1%. Shift. If you are stuck, don't try to leap a canyon. Just move the wheel 1 inch. The horizon doesn't get closer because you stare at it. It gets closer because you take one heavy, ungraceful step and then another. We often imagine that getting unstuck will feel like an explosion, a sudden burst of inspiration that carries us effortlessly toward our goals. In reality, the breakthrough is much quieter. It is the sound of a single gear finally catching its tooth after years of grinding. The reason you feel stuck is often because you're trying to solve a massive problem with a massive solution. You think you need a total life overhaul, a new city, or a brand new personality. But big shifts are brittle. They break under the pressure of real life. True movement comes from micro shifts, decisions so small they feel almost insignificant. The myth of the right time. We stay in the waiting room of life because we believe there is a version of us in the future who is braver, smarter, and more energetic than the person we are today. We say, "I'll do it when I feel ready." But ready is a fairy tale. You will never feel ready to do something that scares you. Action is not the result of confidence. Action is the cause of confidence. You don't wait for the sun to rise to start walking. You start walking in the dark, and eventually the sun finds you moving. The final surrender. The paradox of being stuck is that the more you fight the feeling, the tighter it grips you. When you obsess over why you aren't moving, you are still focusing on the whole, not the path. To move forward, you must practice a form of radical honesty. Acknowledge that you have been protecting yourself with your excuses. Accept that the first few steps will be clumsy, embarrassing, and imperfect. Forgive yourself for the time you think you've wasted. That time wasn't wasted. It was the tension building in the spring before the release. The first inch, the story of why your life feels stuck, ends the moment you stop looking for the why and start looking for the next. It's not about the next 5 years. It's about the next 5 minutes. It's the email you've been avoiding, the conversation you're afraid to have, or the simple act of putting on your shoes. When you move just 1 inch, the entire perspective of the horizon changes. You are no longer a person who is stuck. You are a person who is in motion. The transition from stuck to moving happens in a fraction of a heartbeat. It's the split second between thinking about the cold water and actually jumping in. In that second, your brain will scream 1,000 reasons to stay still. It will tell you that it's too late, that you're too tired, or that it won't matter anyway. Being unstuck isn't the absence of these thoughts. It is the decision to move while they're still shouting. You are not a statue. You are a river that has been dammed up by fallen branches and silt. You don't need to rebuild the river. You just need to move one branch. Once the water starts to trickle, the pressure of the river itself will eventually do the rest of the work.